Gallery view. Now let's try this. Let me see. Is it recording? I think it is. All right. Let's try this again. Hello, this is Jones Harwell. After some technical difficulties, but we're working it through, we're going to do take two. Welcome, Mia W. Jones. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful, and you?
I'm doing just great, just great. Welcome to Jones Harwell, and part of our Unapologetic and Journeys with Jones Harwell, we are going to feature fabulous artists. And today we are featuring you and your debut novel, Entangled in Domesticated Love.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad I'm on with you today.
Wonderful. So let's learn a little bit about you before we start talking about your book.
Well, I am a mother of 3 children. I am currently in a relationship right now, a wonderful relationship with Christopher Monroe. His name is actually William Christopher Monroe. And I am currently in starting becoming an author on tomorrow with Entangled and Domesticated Love. I am loving it. I
Yes.
believe that it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful book. And it will also have a powerful impact on other people's lives. I do believe that it will reach a lot of people that has been involved in domesticated violence, and it will also have an impact on helping others that has came in contact with domesticated violence too.
Thank you on that. So, talking about that, let's talk a little bit about the book, Entangled in Domesticated Love. That's an awfully interesting title. Tell us a little bit about your story and why that title was so important to you.
Okay, the title came from me being in a 12-year marriage. I was really in love with the man that I was married to for 12 years. I did anything and everything that his heart desired, whether it came from not having any more children to losing a lot of weight. I got big over time from being really stressed out and wanting to get love and affection and attention from him. So he didn't want any more children. So he felt that 2 children were enough, and I wanted 4 children altogether. I already had a child from a previous marriage. I wanted two boys and 2 girls, but after I had my last child, which was a girl, he didn't want any more. So I got it. Permanent birth control, which called the e-shore, and everyone knows about the e-shore, where it came from. You put the titanium tubes in the inside of you, and it caused me to have a hysterectomy. So it caused me to have damage in my life from that. So a lot of trials and tribulations came with the marriage, and so it was domesticated for me, but I was entangled up in it. So that's where the title came from.
Wonderful. You mentioned in our conversations when we were writing the book that your ex-husband was previous military. Do you think that that played some role in the relationship and its souring over time and the problems that ensued?
He suffered PTSD from the military, so I believe it was, but he also had a not too good childhood from not having his dad around. So I believe that his mom took good care of him as best as she could, but he really lacked up on not having his dad around. He really missed his dad. So I really think that having a two-parent household is really good for children. But also, if that can't happen, having 2 parents in a child's life is also good to have too. So either way, a parent, 2 parents to play a big role in a child's life. Either way, if they can't be together, they should have both um, a role in a child's life. And he didn't have that. So I believe that that was a problem in his
Oh,
life.
okay.
So either the military or in that played a big role. Um, he was a good guy far as like dealing with people. I seen him interact with a lot of people, and he was very good dealing with business activity.
Hmm.
But being in a relationship, he was terrible at it.
Hmm.
He didn't. He was not very affectionate at all. Um, as far as our children, he was okay. He wasn't really a good. Um, he wasn't around a lot, far as like being in their lives because he worked a lot. But when he was around, he was okay with them. But being a husband, he was really terrible. So I'm hoping that things changed far as him being in a relationship. But in his past, he was terrible.
Okay. So, what finally motivated you to write the book? Why was it so important to tell the story?
I feel like that a lot of people need to be motivated enough to get out relationships that um, is not good for them. Um, they need to be motivated enough to see telltale signs. If people are looking from the outside in their relationship and they see the same signs that other people are seeing, they should know that there's a problem instead of letting love blind them. And that was my issue. I let love blind me. I let love get into a way that um, dictated my life, and it cost me my life, honestly. And um, if it wasn't for a lot of people seeing me through, like the doctors, the hospitals, even God, um, I wouldn't be here today. So the things, the trials and the tribulations that I went through in the marriage, I really appreciate the walk that I went through because I wouldn't be at a place that I am now to look at how a relationship's supposed to be.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've moved on, you've written the book. What's next for you?
Well, I have two more books that's coming out. It's a part two and a part three. And you will see in the next book that it's a children's side to it. I'm not going to give a lot of details to it, but you will hear on a children's part how domestic violence will overtake children and how children have to go about trying to get a release on that too. So children have feelings too, just as well as adults, and we need to understand that what we go through, children also go through. And when we put ourselves through problems, and we have children in the midst of it, we need to understand that it's not only us going through it; our children are going through it too. So we need to take hold of who else is being involved in it, who else is taking it, this is taking a toll on. So not only think about yourself, think about your children and your surroundings.
Okay. I noticed that as we were writing the book, and we had many conversations in the discussions of putting the book together, that this platform now has become very important to you. So, what would you like to share in closing?
Well, I would like to share that uh, know that pain and suffering is not in vain. You don't go through it for just yourself, you go through it for other people to know that there are advantages that other people can get through it too. And that your advantages are that there is happiness on the other side, whether it's with the person that you went through the trauma with, or whether it's with another person that will come along and make you happy. But know this, that when you go through it, know that there are consequences that you know that your life can be taken away from you or that it can be spared. But if it's taken away from you, it's by your doing, because there is a way of escape. You're putting yourself in a jeopardy of knowing that I could be out of this, because it wasn't a time that go by. I had left the relationship knowing that it was the proper thing to do, but because I got pregnant again, I didn't want to be alone. So I knew that I needed to be out the relationship, but because I didn't want to be alone, I went back. So know that there are times that when you stay in a relationship, it's consequences for the react for your actions. So when you're doing something, think about everything that you do and know that your children are looking up to you about everything that you're doing.
Okay, okay. How would people be able to get a hold of you if they wanted more information on domestic abuse, or you have a platform that you're sponsoring and getting the word out?
You can get in contact with me through my publisher, Mrs. Jones Harrell, or you can get in contact with me through email, walkingandpurpose228 at gmail.com.
And
Again, I'm going to repeat that, Mrs. Jones Harrell, my publisher, or you can get in contact with me, walking and purpose 228 at gmail.com.
thank you so much, Mia. I appreciate you taking the time today. I'm going to close on anything that you want to say. I do want one housekeeping note to let everybody know the Facebook thing and the liability thing. The music that you heard in the background is not written by us. So thank you, Mia, and your closing words.
Well, I want you to know that I'm trying to get a foundation made up for people that are going through domestic violence. The things that come through the book, the proceeds that come through the book, I'm trying to set up a domestic violence for people that need help, places to go, things that they need to get, even for children, things of that sort, and place for them. So go get the book, because I'm telling you, it's a message in everything when you go through the situations that you're going through. Because even through the domestic violence that I went through, I became a abuser myself. So you don't want to go through the same process that I had to go through. I never wanted to become the person that I became. So you don't want to become that same person.
Amen on that. Once again, want to thank the fabulous Mia W. Jones for coming on and sharing tidbits on her debut novel, Entangled in Domesticated Love. Out everywhere, you guys, tomorrow, Barnes and Noble,
Yes.
Amazon, Apple, stores. Go look for it. You will find it. Please support a wonderful cause, a beautiful woman who has overcome, and I look forward to the things that she still has in store.
Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys.